So now we're going to talk about one of the most important control mechanisms of all, which is the school system. Now, most people think of the school system as being an institution for education, which it absolutely is. But more importantly, it's an institution for socialization. We want children to be good members of the pyramid. We want to turn them into sheep and dog as soon as possible. And our primary mechanism for doing that is taking that natural joy that children have, that curiosity, and converting it into fear and competition. We want them to care, but care about winning, care about money, care about looking good. Joy and compassion is contagious, but so is fear. And fear creates much more productivity for us. And remember, our grading system is really going to help us with this. Children are constantly being unfairly judged in the grading system. And so there's a constant reinforcement of them being on the defensive. And that over and over again, pounding on them of judgment is going to create frustration, self-hatred, shallow thinking. And so what we're doing is we're nipping that joy in the bud. So when they are joyful about doing something for fun, and the worst thing you can do to joy is to stab it in the heart. Nip it in the bud, get it before it grows. Because when a child is out there feeling excited about something and you tell them that's wrong, early enough in their life, you only have to do it a few times and they're never going to do that again. And what we do is we fill that void with entertainment. And so the child gets a nice soothing analgesic, and then that behavior never appears again. And remember, the strongest leaders, the strongest children who have the potential to disrupt the pyramid are the ones who are going to fall off first and be the most frustrated. And one of the most important leverages we have is not what to teach, it's what not to teach. And here are some of the things we don't teach. One is emotional intelligence. It makes people intuitive. We don't want that. We don't want to teach the why and the who. We want to focus on the what. And a good example would be the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. It's very easy to test that. Well, what is the right to bear arms? The Second Amendment. It's going to be on the test next Tuesday. We don't teach what was the purpose of the Second Amendment. And as we all know, it was a check and balance against the government. The founding fathers wanted to make sure that the people had arms to keep the government in fear about the people. It would reduce the possibility of tyranny. And of course, the government's not going to teach that. We also want to eliminate classic education. We don't want to talk too much about history. We want to make history boring. We want to focus on facts. We don't want to talk about strategies and values and dilemmas. It, again, creates a very, very difficult person to manage. We don't want them to think about what was it like to be Columbus? Why did he sail across the ocean? What were the politics? What were they thinking? We want to focus on what were the names of the 3 ships. I can't even remember. Because it's much easier to test. Can you imagine trying to test what was it like? What did it feel like to be Columbus and trying to grade somebody on that? It's impossible. We don't want to teach a very, very important lesson. This one's critical to understanding the way the world works. Follow the money. Do not teach that. Make it look like that it has to do with policy when really it's all about money. We don't want to teach them niche marketing. That's a very, very important skill, actually, for product managers. But we don't want children thinking that there's many different viewpoints on things, because, again, they're going to start to question the pyramid in the way that they're being taught. We want to drive competitive and self-centered behavior. So the grading system is going to do this. We focus on teaching technical skills only, not skills of perception and creativity. We recognize children for quick wins, and sports really helps with that. So we're really making them performance-driven rather than searching for their passion or their freedom and their desires. Those are very, very dangerous to have a lot of people lower in the pyramid focused on that kind of stuff. So one of the critical elements, as we talked about, is the grading system. And again, focus on simple facts. What were the names of Columbus's 3 ships? This makes it easy to rank students, to rank teachers based on their ability to create high standardized test results. And it's creating the filters that we need, the people that we want in the pyramid. We want to de-emphasize music and arts. We need a little bit of that. But too much music and art and recognition for it creates a lot of soul, a lot of broad perception, which we don't want. And of course, it's natural for parents to promote this because they want bragging rights. my child got an A. You can't brag, my child's very intuitive. It doesn't mean anything. And the irony is that studies have shown that B students are actually smarter than A students. But it's the A student mentality, that competition, that desire to follow directions and be better than everybody else is what we're really looking for. So people have criticized this approach that this is not good for preparing children for the outside world. Well, as we already know, this is what the outside world is like. So everything we're doing in school actually makes it better for them to participate in the workforce. It's the herd mentality. So another important factor to consider is the nature of the student-teacher relationship. I want my child to be focused on joy. I want my child to have a peer-to-peer relationship with that teacher. It's that joy of that relationship. The most important lesson in school is the nature of the teacher-student relationship. So the idea in the public school system is to turn that into a dominant, submissive relationship, to drive that child down to a submissive relationship so they get used to it. And there's a very, very simple way to do that, which is just to cut budget for school. Make the size of the classroom very, very large. It's very natural. Teachers want to control their children's energy. So even those who want to help the children, and a lot do, get frustrated and start to create a dominant, submissive relationship. And this breeds the kind of behavior that we want in the pyramid, because it starts in school. Remember, you're being unfairly judged. You are in a subservient position, so it breeds spin, denial, controlling, cover-up. There's only one right answer. All that fluff about emotional intelligence, a bunch of nonsense. I can't get a good grade on that. So it's a quite very well fine-tuned system.